Hey, what's up guys? Calvin here today, and I want to share with you what a lot of people have been asking me lately, and that is, Calvin, how do you travel so much? Before we kick everything off today with some general tips of how I tend to travel, I do want to share with you guys, if you guys notice there's a little bit of a difference in the way that things look, that's because I got a little bit of new gear. I've got a Gorilla Pod and a new 10 to 18 millimeter Canon STM lens. It's fantastic. If you guys don't believe me, check how much space I have right here with this lens. It's awesome. So if you guys are interested in getting a lens like this, I'm definitely gonna be using it on my travel vlog slash YouTube channel with my wife. We're gonna be using a lot of images, and so stay tuned. I'll be using this new lens. It's awesome. Without further ado, I do wanna talk to you guys today about the ways and methods that we use in order to travel so frequently. Now, a lot of people have been asking, how do you do this? Did you guys stumble upon a lot of money? Not yet, but we do plan on doing so, and we do plan on becoming travel influencers, and that's what we're working towards right now. So it's kind of an investment for us, but a lot of people think it costs a ton of money to travel all the time, but in reality it doesn't. And I'm going to share with you guys these 3 tips. Now, tip number 1. I love to budget. As an accounting major and a business major from a university in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I learned to budget, and I learned to create ways and methods to get around spending a bunch of money. So, more so, I don't really spend full prices on things or anything like that. I learned to cut things out that aren't necessary in my budget. I try not to eat out as much as I want to. I'd love to go to Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A all the time, but sometimes that's not as feasible if I want to set higher expectations for myself in traveling. So we'd still go out from time to time, but we don't go out as often as we used to, and that helps to save a ton of money. If you kind of just think about it, if you're going out 2 or 3 times a week, $15 every time you go out, 45 times a week times 4 times 52 weeks, that adds up to a ton, and you could have just gone on a trip by cutting out maybe once or twice a week. So that's what we've been doing for ourselves. Now, we also need to track where our finances going, aside from like eating out and spending frivolously on things that we may not need to spend on. We need to be able to understand our money is going to X amount for gas, this amount for rent, this amount for food, and all of the other expenses that you have from day-to-day life. And if like you're living with your parents, that your score, you could travel every month as much as you want because you guys have such little expenses. Now, for us, we're not as lucky. We're living on our own, and we're paying rent, and we have a bunch of expenses. But that doesn't deter us from being able to travel once a month. We find ways around it. We also make sure that when we're on the road, when we're in a different country, when we're traveling, we also make sure to maintain a budget while we're traveling. We don't want to go to these places and spend a ton of money when the experience and the memories that you can get from traveling to these places is just without price. You can travel to these places and have amazing experiences without having to spend a bunch of money. And that's one of the things that we try to keep in mind when we travel. We want to make sure that we maintain a budget. We go in there with a set amount, and we can kind of just log about how much we are spending and keep track of our numbers in that way. We're not doing it a ton right now. It's not super necessary for the position that we're in life right now, but we do it to a certain extent, and I do encourage you guys to create and outline a budget. Now, one of the things that is fantastic about this aspect is that you're saving money for your travels, but then also making money while you're traveling is also another great opportunity for you to be doing this. So kind of entailed with this budgeting aspect, you want to be able to use the traveling to your advantage. So one thing that we love to do is use rewards programs. So whether you're using a hotels.com or a credit card rewards program like Southwest's credit card, you can get mileage on flights. You can get your hotels paid for every like 10 hotels or so. There are a bunch of opportunities for you to be able to make money back and make rewards back so that you don't have to pay for certain aspects of a future travel. And that is one way in particular that I really, really admire and appreciate. So go ahead and check that out when you're interested in, flying out to somewhere or staying at a hotel. Those are awesome ways for you guys to discount your travels. Now, the next tip that I have is about asset sharing. So asset sharing, essentially, For a lack of a better term, this is something like Airbnb where somebody's sharing their home, or Turo where somebody shares their car. If you guys haven't seen those already, go ahead down in the description box. I'm gonna leave links there for you. A lot of people have actually, that I've spoken to, have never used Airbnb or Turo before, so check it out. I mean, if you guys use the link down there below, you'll get $25 off for Turo, and Airbnb, they also do different variations for wherever you are. So check those out. You guys can get discounts on your next stay at an Airbnb or on your next rental of a vehicle. So I highly recommend that. It's a great opportunity for you to find discounted hotels, places to stay, condos, and all those things. Now, the next tip I have for you guys is tip number 2, and this is a little bit more general. It's to be flexible. You need to be flexible when you are planning these trips. If you're trying to travel once a month like we do, then you absolutely need to be flexible. One of the things that we do is we're constantly looking for good airfare. You know, well-priced airfare is one of the most important things that is going to cut a huge slash in your budget. And in fact, you guys, if you guys are doing this right, you can like cut your percentages by, I would say, 60% or more on some flights. Now, what we typically do is we go on sites like Just Fly, Just Air, Skyscanner, things like those that aren't highly saturated and aren't looking for you know, a heavy premium on the flights that you purchase from them. And what we'll do is we'll find flights that are, you know, going for the best deals. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a specific location, but let's say that we find a really good deal to Australia, like we did, you know, this past February. We got it for almost half the price of what we typically do when somebody travels to Australia. And there are numerous scenarios like that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be you know, somewhere that you're intending to go. It can be somewhere that, like for example, my wife and I are headed to Thailand. We didn't expect to go to Thailand, but we saw that the tickets were incredibly priced, and they were competitively priced. So we snagged those tickets from justair.com, and we are on our way in August off to Thailand, and it's gonna be an amazing adventure. You know, we already spent the money on the tickets and outlined a budget for that. We have so much room to play with while we're there, and we're excited about that trip. You know, so you have to be constantly flexible when it comes to traveling, and you want to use the connections that you have. So when you're traveling, be flexible. If you have somebody in your circle that knows how to find deals, has been a travel partner or a travel guide before, use them. Ask them questions. Use your social media and leverage the ability to speak to individuals all across the world. Use those connections that you have and those platforms that you have to ask people for advice. And where's the best place to stay? Where's the most inexpensive places to eat? What are the best things to do while I'm there? And all of these things, all of these people that can help you are going to make your trip that much better. Last but not least, the general tip that I have for you guys is just do it. A lot of people, and I gotta tell you this, guys, I made this the point number 3 because a lot of people, they don't just do it, you know? They stay stuck in their head and they worry about their finances, and they are so consumed by the thought of money that they forget to live. Now, for us, we know that traveling is our passion. From the moment we got married, we started traveling, and it has been something that is near and dear to our hearts. So with that, we know that we can't stay stuck in our own heads about finances. Finances are always gonna come. Finances are always gonna present the opportunity to be made. And we know that traveling's not always gonna be there. Kids are gonna come along, and it's gonna make it a little bit more difficult to travel. We're gonna have opportunities in our lives that are gonna kind of buckle us down to where we're living. And it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to just up and take a trip every month, you know? So while you have the opportunity, and even if you have all of these, you know, responsibilities, you can still travel. But I want to make it clear that you need to just go for it, because if you don't, you're constantly going to be missing out on these memories and these experiences of a lifetime that you could be experiencing just like we are. You know, we're only 24 and we're just getting started, but we're making the most of the opportunities that we're given. We don't have any ties right now. There's nothing holding us back right now from being able to travel the world, and a lot of you guys are young. Use this opportunity. Use these opportunities to travel the world and experience all that the world has to offer while you still can. Let go and live. just go and do it. That's the biggest tip that I have for you guys. Where there is a will, there is a way, and I know you guys can travel just as much as we are. And even if that's not something you desire, but you still desire to travel the world, I know you guys can do it. So, you know, that is my last tip for you guys. I feel like that's the biggest tip I have. Just do it. Now, just to recap, we have number 1, budgeting. Make sure that you guys are budgeting for your daily lives and expenses all the way to when you are traveling. You know, you can use asset sharing sites and platforms that help you to use things at discounted prices like vehicles and places to stay. You also need to be flexible. Number 2, just be flexible. Use your connections and platforms to find advice and suggestions from other people as to where to go, what places to eat at, what sites to use, and all the other things that can help you discount your travels as much as we do. Constantly looking for deals and being flexible and open to going just about anywhere. And then number 3, just getting out and doing it. Guys, I can't stress it enough. You guys just need to do it. If this is something that your heart desires, go for it. I believe in you. You guys can do it. If you have any questions regarding travels or how to do it, if you guys want to see something more specific on, you know, budgeting or any of these aspects that I talked about, please drop a comment down in the comment section below. If you guys like today's video, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you want to see more content, please subscribe to the channel and keep me updated on what it is that you guys want to see, because I am here to make the videos for you guys and build this community. I really do enjoy it. It's a fun opportunity, and I am honestly just doing this for you guys. Now, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, all the social media platforms that exist. I would love to communicate with you guys and talk to you guys about some of the ins and outs of entrepreneurship, traveling, and all the things that you're interested in. I will see you guys again tomorrow or in the future video. Stay tuned.